talking?
No. Champions League,
We talking about Thomas.
Superdome, and I don't know. It's making the playoffs. It's making the.
Hold on. Y'all know what time it is. Welcome to Who Knows Best featuring AG and GJ. I'm moving a little mobile right now, so I got to be on the phone today. But I hope y'all are all having a blessed Thursday, January 30th. Y'all know what time it is. You see AG. AG, what's up? How you doing?
For me, I'm doing.
Come
I'm
on now,
doing
boy.
great. I'm
Come on
doing
now.
great.
How about
I'm
those
doing
birds?
great.
How
E
about
A
those
G
birds?
L E S E. I'm doing great. What you mean? How I'm feeling? Doing
Hey,
great.
I gotta
I'm doing
ask.
great.
I gotta
I
ask.
told man, I've been telling y'all fucking all year, nigga, all year. Well, didn't you sit, didn't you
See, here
sit
you
here
go.
on
Here you
this
go.
show?
Here you
Didn't
go.
you sit here on this show, week
You can't help
3,
yourself. You
said
can't
that the
help yourself.
Commanders is gonna be better than the Eagles?
That's not what I said.
The same
That's not what I
Commanders
said.
we bust their ass last week. You said
That's
the
not what I
Commanders was
said.
gonna have a better record. That's what you said. That's what
I
you
did
said.
say that.
And then
That's what I
and
said.
then and then you backed down and said, "Oh, better record by week 10." Like, fuck out of here. What happened? What happened? Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It got quiet.
Is
It got
listen.
quiet.
What happened was.
It
What
got
happened
quiet.
was is I got my $100. That's what happened. What
It,
happened is I
it, it
got my
got
$100.
quiet.
That's what happened.
It got quiet. And I said
Yeah,
double down. I said
I
double
guess.
down. I said the season. I said the season, but you was pussy. I said double down. I said double
Nah,
down. Did I not?
nah. I,
Did I not say
now I
double
could.
down?
You did, and you right. You right. You right.
And I got my
But I
money
like
back anyway for the
my money,
AD
and
for
I'm
the
not gonna take
AD
that
bet.
chance.
I got my money back anyway for the AD
Oh,
bet.
yeah, you did.
Cause he's a fucking
Damn sure
burger.
did. But let's get this show started off. Let's get this show started off. Um, Hold on. Let me move a little bit so I can get that little better reception real quick. Hold on, cause I'm mobile today, y'all. Let me move a little bit. Let me get closer to where I'm supposed to be at. Hold up. Yes. Nobody's in yet, so we're good. Anyway, how you doing today, AG?
I'm doing great.
How you doing
I'm
today,
doing
AG?
great. I'm doing great. I'm doing
Doing
great.
great. Can't complain.
My my team is in the Super Bowl.
No complaints.
My team is in the Super Bowl.
That's what I like to hear. I'm trying to figure out the best way to sit. I think this is perfect, actually. Yeah. Eagles are there. We're gonna talk a little bit. We're gonna talk a little bit NFL playoffs. We're gonna talk a little bit. We're gonna talk a little bit about last. We're gonna talk a little bit about last week's NFL playoffs. We're gonna talk a little bit about. We're gonna talk a little bit about this week coming up, the Super Bowl. For this, not this weekend, but next weekend. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk a lot of stuff. What you doing? You look like you're confused.
Who, me? Oh, my fault. I was trying to get on
You there, AG?
Facebook on my yeah, you can hear me? You can't hear me?
AG.
Oh, your service is
Phone dead.
trash. Your service is trash. Damn. This nigga. This nigga is not moving real light skin, y'all. Cause light skin niggas is supposed to have better connection. Just saying that. But yo, y'all saw my burns, right? People doubted us all year. All year people doubted us. All year. All year Jalen Hurts can't do this. Defense can't do that. Offense is not good enough. It was always something. something after something after something. It was the Eagles can't get it done. Then it was the Lions is the best team. We was never we was never the best team in media. In the media eyes, we was never the best team. And now guess what? We in the fucking Super Bowl and we still underdogs. We've been riding that underdog mentality all year long. All year long is they not good enough. They just missing it. The QB's not good enough. I don't want to hear the QB's not good enough no more. And even if the QB is not good enough, guess what? We got 2-6. We got Saquon in the backfield on Mamba mentality. Yes, yes. What are we talking about right now? What are we doing? Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl. Crazy, man. It's crazy. I'm hyped. I'm ready for the Super Bowl. I don't know where I want to watch it at. I'm not 100% sure where I want to watch the Super Bowl at. I'm
Hey,
not 100% sure.
my bad about that. My bad about that. Who you talking to? Who asked you that question?
Man, I'm just talking. I'm just talking.
You talking to the audience?
I'm just talking. Cause I
Yeah.
can't see, cause I'm not logged in, so I can't see whoever is there, whatever. This shit's getting me tight. I can't log into my Facebook for some reason. That shit's getting me tight. Like,
Yeah, your Facebook is online. I'm looking at it. You good?
man,
So
I
here's what I'm
know,
gonna
but
do.
I was just trying to tag niggas one more time, but now, yo, I gotta reset my whole laptop because I don't know what happened. My laptop's acting wild light skin. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm gonna have to reset my whole laptop.
I feel some type of way about that. I'm not
And
gonna lie to you.
I don't know why you feel the type of way. You on some real nigga shit with your internet service right now. You're not even on some
Nah,
light skin shit right now. You on
hey,
some nigga shit.
hey,
You
you
on some
stupid.
nigga shit.
You stupid. I just got to fix though. I got to fix. So we on point. But let's get it started. Let's get
You
it started. We're
good?
gonna
You
talk some
sure?
NFL playoffs. We're gonna talk some NFL playoffs. We got a special guest today. We're gonna get him in here. But let's start things off right. Who knows best? AG. You see him. Yours truly, GJ. And we're gonna get this party off right. But let's first things first. Let's introduce our special guest. He just happens to be my seed. He used to live in my balls.
Why you said it like that?
Because
Damn,
he's my son. He's
nigga.
my son. I can say whatever I want.
No
That's my
way.
kid.
No, you can't say whatever you want. Like that's ridiculous. Like you out
Hey,
of pocket.
listen. Let's
You out of
welcome Jace to the
pocket. Wait,
pod. Let's
but
welcome Jace to the
but
pod, man. Let's welcome Jace to the pod.
if he did. You still
Hey,
did. It's okay. It's all right.
Jace, what's going on, kiddo? How you doing?
Nothing much. Just waiting. Chilling.
Hey, little things matter. Jace, obviously, all jokes aside, he's my son, a very intelligent young man. He is a sports fanatic. He actually he knows a lot about different sports that I don't know about, like hockey. He knows a little bit more about football than I genuinely know because he watches more. It just happens to be that he's a Giants fan, and we all know how that goes. It kind of sucks to be a Giants fan, right about now. But
Especially.
I blame myself. I blame myself because I wasn't in his life because he shouldn't have been a Giants fan. That's my fault.
hey,
That's my fault, Jace.
he
Because
knows.
listen,
I've been an Eagles fan since
the,
he was
the,
born, bro. Since before he was born, he knows. He should know
oh
better.
my, barely,
Oh
barely,
man, bro.
barely.
Jace,
Your father was
no
not an
respect for
Eagles
this.
fan his whole life.
You
Your
see what he just
father
do?
don't let him fool you. Your
You see what he
father was
does,
not an
Jace?
Eagles fan his whole life
You see
because
what
he
he
was
does,
not an
Jace?
Yeah,
Eagles fan in high
Friday,
school.
he wasn't saying.
He was not. He was not an Eagles fan in high school. He's a
Go
fucking
ahead, Jace.
liar.
Hold on, let him talk.
Don't let
Let him
your
talk.
dad fool you.
What happened, Jace? What are you gonna say?
Yeah, he told me prior to this that he hasn't been an Eagles fan his whole life.
Yeah, I already told him what's up. I don't have to lie to my son.
No, he just said
I
you
told him that you
told
were gonna talk. I
no
told him that you were
you
gonna talk
said
your shit.
he just said you said that you was an Eagles fan your whole life. That's what he just
No, that's
said.
not what he said. He said that
That's not what he said.
I spoke to him before this podcast, and I said, "Hey, Aaron's gonna talk about me. He's gonna say I'm a fake fan." I told him everything.
Cause you are.
You see what he does, Jace? You see what he does? It's
I
crazy.
respect your son more than you. He's a Giants fan.
Yeah, and I feel for him. I genuinely
I
feel for
do
him.
too. I do too.
You know,
But
we
guess
lost
what?
a
It's better than you.
yeah, I guess. If you say so.
Fake ass Eagles fan, and then 1 week rooting for the Chargers, 1 week rooting for the Eagles. You man, that is bullshit. You
Anyway,
know the
Jace, come
vibe.
on. Jace, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to the pod. Let them know your favorite teams, basketball, football, baseball, all that stuff. Let them know why you wanted to join today. Go ahead.
To be honest, I wanted to join today. Uh, first to have some fun with my father and his friend AG, and just to talk about sports. It just sucks being a Giants fan and watching your old running back just get 2,000 yards and go to the Super Bowl the year after he goes. It just sucks like that.
You could blame your GM for that one. You could blame your the Giants GM for that one. You know, he dropped the ball. He dropped the ball on that one. You know, and we're gonna get into that a little bit. But first things first, let's jump into the AFC Championship. Let's talk about that Bills versus Kansas City Chiefs game. AG, jump on it. Let's hear what you got to say. We're gonna go AG, we're gonna go Jason, then we'll end with me. But go ahead, AG.
Wow. It was Josh Allen versus the refs. It was so here's the thing, right? Watching the game, right? Watching the game showed two things to me. One, that if Saquon didn't have the year he had, I would easily say Josh Allen is MVP. I mean, I know he's gonna win MVP, but he don't deserve MVP. Saquon should win MVP, but Josh Allen clearly is the most valuable player to his team. Like that team is dirt. That team is dirt, and he got them to the AFC Championship.
Right.
Now, with that being said, that was one, and the second thing was the refs were ass. So here's the
I
thing,
see you,
right?
Vic. I see you, Vic. You
Here's
already
here's
know.
here's, here's the thing, right? Because like I think there was only two calls that were actually wrong with the
Okay.
placing of the ball and there was like one other call that I think was wrong. But I think for the most part, what was more upsetting was that all of the calls were happening after the play was dead. Like they were calling flags after the whistle was blown. Like Patty was pointing the play was already over. Patty was pointing to the ref and basically, oh, then the ref threw the flag. Like there was no flag on the field before Patty said something, before the play was dead. So that is why I think a lot of people were upset, which is right,
I
which
mean,
is
it's
which
always the
is which
same
is
thing, right?
reasonable.
It's always the same thing, when it comes to any Kansas City Chiefs game, there's always something going on with the refs. And it's very upsetting because, and we're going to get into this a little bit later, and we're going to talk about sports betting and sports betting and the NFL, sports betting and the NBA, sports betting and sports in general, and how they have, how we feel about it and how it's affected the leagues around the country. But before that, Jace, go ahead. Let's summarize that AFC Championship game. Buffalo lost by 3 against the defending champions. What do you got to say about that?
I was first not expecting the Chiefs to actually win. I was really expecting the Bills to win this match. I think it was like surprising how it happened, and I feel like Dalton Kincaid could have definitely got that catch to secure the first down. But like like things happen, and I'm pretty sure they might have a script in their back pocket. But I guess we see what happens in the Super Bowl.
Interesting. I hear from a lot of fans nowadays talking about, the script has leaked or, everything is predetermined around these leagues around our country. And, I look at the Chiefs and I'm like, it's a possibility that this might be an actual factual kind of a thing because, like I said, along with sports betting and everything else, it's been kind of, obvious. But AG, go ahead. What do you think? You got something?
I was gonna say, I honestly thought it would have been they would have let it be fair just off the fact that Josh Allen probably is gonna win the MVP. So I thought like they was gonna let it be fair when it came to that, when it came to him playing Patrick Mahomes. Like I thought they was gonna let it be a fair game. But with that being said, even with all of the bullshit throughout the whole game, Josh Allen still had a chance to win the game. He still had the ball in his hand to win the game, and
This
he
is true.
couldn't get it done. And he
That is
couldn't get
true.
it done because he just doesn't have a number one receiver. He does not have a number one receiver. And like this is like it kills me when a team really like lets their number one guy go. Like this is the year of all the number one guys leaving and doing good on another team. It just so happened that Stephon Diggs got hurt this year, but even before he got hurt, Stephon Diggs was balling. Like I don't know what happened. I don't know what transpired in the locker room between Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I don't know what the deal was so bad that they couldn't repair it, because I really feel with Stephon Diggs on this team with Shakir, with Kincaid, I think it would have been a better chance of beating the Chiefs. The Chiefs, their salary cap situation's a little iffy, so now they got to figure out how to get a good wide receiver in there, whether it's through draft or trying to trade. And then not only that, on the other end, on the other side, they don't have not one corner that can guard anybody. That defense was terrible. It was terrible. I wanted the Bills to
Wait,
win.
are you talking about the Bills defense? Or are you talking about the
Yeah,
Chiefs
the
defense?
Bills defense. The
The
Bills
Bills
defense. The
defense.
Bills
Yeah.
defense
Okay.
is terrible.
Okay.
I wanted the
Okay.
Bills to win because I knew it would have been a cakewalk in the Super Bowl if the Bills won. Because the Bills have no defense, and the offense is just Josh Allen,
Hold
which
on,
we would have been able
AG.
to stop that.
AG, hold on. Jace, what do you got to say to that? I see you made a face about that. What's going on? What are you thinking?
I don't know how you can say that your own team went to the Super Bowl and then say the Bills would have had a walkthrough if they went to the Super Bowl. Personally, I think
Man,
that
I said we would have walked through the Bills.
like I would actually think that the Eagles would have a better chance of winning if the Bills went to the Super Bowl. But you got to see what happens.
That's what I said. That's what I said. I
That's what
said
he
I
was
wanted
saying,
the
Jace.
Bill. Yeah, I was saying I wanted the Bills to win because it would have been an easier game.
You agree? You agree with what he said, Jace?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, for me, watching the AFC Championship game, because we're gonna get into the NFC Championship game in a little bit later in the show. But for me, watching the AFC Championship game and watching how listen, it was a good game. It was a good game. We would be sitting here and we would be lying to ourselves and we lying to our audience if we were to say that it wasn't a good game, it wasn't a competitive game, and it wasn't worth it. I got my popcorn ready, and it was back and forth virtually the whole game. There were a couple of questionable calls. The Josh Allen run for a first down that they called it, what was that, a turnover on downs or a fourth down, whatever they called. What was it, a turnover?
No, it was
The
they said he didn't pick up the first.
He didn't pick up the first, right? And then we're talking about the catch that they called the catch that was clearly a drop. Um,
That clearly wasn't a catch.
you know,
That kind of really shifted the momentum
right.
at that
And
time.
in a playoff game, especially in a championship game, heading into the Super Bowl, these are things that momentum plays a huge role in this kind of in this kind of a thing. Eric, what's going on, dog? I see you, boy. All right, all right, all right. But yeah, man, it's just like watching this game was very competitive. I feel for Josh Allen. I feel for him because he's a hell of a quarterback. And AG, you alluded to this earlier in the season. He has no weapons around him. He has nothing to to throw to. Who was his main target? It was Dalton Kincaid, and that guy was, what is he, a rookie or a second year? He's like
Second year.
he hasn't even established himself
Yeah,
as
actually,
as elite wide
no,
receiver.
yeah.
And then
I mean, he's a
we
tight
had
end.
a tight end, excuse me, because they had Knox last year, and he just became the number one tight end this year. So
Yeah.
it's like it's like he had no. I don't know what. Just like you said, what happened between him and Diggs? What happened in Buffalo that they couldn't run it back? Like it boggles my mind. And then if you look at it, and I'm gonna get controversial, karma's a bitch. Look what happened to Stephon. Karma's a bitch. You leave a team that had potential to make it to the Super Bowl last year because what? Whatever problems you had, you couldn't put it to the side for the
But
bigger picture.
to be fair, if Stephon Diggs was healthy, who knows how far the Texans could have went? The Texans had a lot of
Exactly.
injuries. The Texans had a lot of injuries. Stephon Diggs would have made a difference in that Chiefs game as well.
Right. Right. Hey, Jace, what do you got? What do you got to say about that?
What I could say about that is that personally, I think that as you guys were saying, if Diggs would have been healthy throughout the season, the Texans would have probably had a farther playoffs run and really would have probably had a better chance of beating the Chiefs in the divisional game, in the divisional match. But what happens happens.
Yeah. And AG was a closet Texans fan earlier in the year. He did say CJ Stroud for
That was not
MVP.
first off, I'm never a closet anybody else fan. I'm an Eagle fan. Don't fucking play me. I literally said my two people for MVP was CJ Stroud or Josh Allen. That's what I said. I never
Yeah.
said I never was a Texans fan or none of that shit. Don't ever disrespect me.
But you
Ever.
low key wanted to see Stroud win it or not. Not
Win
win the
what?
Super Bowl, but like win like the
How,
AFC.
I thought no, I wasn't sure if he was gonna win the AFC, but I thought he would have been higher for the MVP because of the weapons he had. But his team was injured all year. Nico Collins missed a whole bunch of games. Stephon Diggs was out. Like Tank Dell was out. Like he was missing like his basically his whole team and still made the playoffs. So it was still impressive to me. Now on the other hand, right? The way the game shaped out between the Bills and the Chiefs, I feel like it highlights even more of how much Lamar Jackson is a fucking fraud. I'm just saying. With all the weapons that Lamar has and the defense that Lamar has, he couldn't beat Josh Allen. I'm just saying.
So let's
I'm just saying.
dive into that. Let's dive into that. But let's first talk about what this loss against the Chiefs again means to Josh Allen's legacy. What does this mean for you, AG, or for you, Jace? Let's start off with Jace. For Jace, what do you think this loss means for the legacy of Josh Allen? Because once again, he loses to the same team. I feel like it's the same team every single year, and it's really rough. So, Jace, I'm going to ask you, what do you think this means for Josh Allen's legacy?
What I think personally is that if Josh Allen does not improve and is not able to get past these Chiefs before like either Patrick Mahomes or he retires, there is going to be a big problem on his record. You have to think about how the Bills had that 4-year in a row run and just lost all of them, and we all know that we don't want to see that with Josh Allen, which is unlikely, but then again, it's possible. Anything's possible. But
Yeah.
you see, like this could affect Josh Allen majorly.
Yeah. What about you, AG?
I kind of feel like last year was like their window. I feel like last year was their year to do it. They put a lot of their money out. I feel like last year was their year to do it. I was talking to someone who was a Bills fan this week actually, and they basically was like that they was impressed by the year because technically they was like this was supposed to be a rebuild year for them technically.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I didn't expect anything out of him.
But yeah, most people had them being third in division behind the Jets because of the Jets defense and Aaron Rodgers, and Miami because of all the superstardom in Miami on the offensive side. But they won their division. They got into the playoffs. Like I said, I think it's it's sort of like that Peyton Brady, right? Like what would Peyton's career be if he never beat Brady? Like what
True.
what would his legacy be if he never beat Brady, right? So if Josh Allen never beats Mahomes,
But did Peyton ever beat Brady in the playoffs?
yes.
He had
to beat Brady to get the ring to get the Super Bowl. He had to beat Brady to get the Super Bowl. Like he had to get over that hump. The same way Josh Allen's gonna probably have to get over that hump to actually get a Super Bowl. And
Right.
I'm almost at the point where I don't think the Buffalo is for Josh Allen anymore.
And that's a good question too. And for me, I'm gonna piggyback off what you just said. Coming into this season, I didn't expect much. Did I think they were going to be a sub 500 team? No. At the end of the day, Josh Allen is still an elite quarterback in the NFL. They have an awesome backfield with James Cook back there, and they have a a mediocre defense that can get them to at least 500. Now, did I expect them to get to the AFC Championship game or better? Absolutely not. But Josh Allen had an MVP caliber year, which catapulted them into the AFC Championship and put them in position to beat the two-time defending champions. Now, when we're talking, go ahead, Jace. What were you saying?
No, it was a mistake. I thought I was on mute. My bad.
You're good. So, it put them in position to, potentially beat the two-time defending Super Bowl champions. That being said, when it came down to it, they just didn't have enough on both sides of the ball. Do we blame Josh Allen for that? No. Just like Aaron said, Saquon Barkley deserves the MVP. He's not going to get it because, unfortunately, they don't give the MVP to running backs. But Josh Allen will win the MVP just off the strength, in my opinion, just off the strength, because he had the year that he had with nobody to back him up. Any last thoughts on that, y'all?
And I do say this, man. I don't think people realize how good the Chiefs are right now. Like the Chiefs were dealing with injuries all year and was still winning.
Yup.
And they allowed them to get so many players because they were injured. And now they have those additional players on top of their players that were injured.
That's scary for us going into this game.
I don't know who us is because you're not an Eagle fan, but I'm only worried about the refs. I'm not worried about the Chiefs. I'm worried about the refs. I'm not worried about the Chiefs.
First, what did my dad do to you that you have to keep calling him saying that he's not an Eagles fan?
Yeah, second of all, you tell him what I did to you. I didn't do
what you said about Saquon. Like, think about it. Saquon Barkley, is MVP, and in my eyes, is going to be MVP on February 6th when they pronounce the awards, because Saquon Barkley almost beat the NFL rushing yard record in a season and was the first running back to get 2+ rush touchdowns in 3 games against the same team. Saquon Barkley is 2,000 yards. He's done so much this season for him not to win MVP. And if the NFL does not award him MVP, that's how you know the NFL awards is only gave to a quarterback.
Hey, I agree with you. I
also feel like I get MVP. I get MVP is only regular season, but the fact that they announced the winners right before the Super Bowl, I feel like you got to look at what the players are doing in the playoffs too, and Saquon is 30 yards away from breaking the record for the most yards postseason and season altogether. He's only 30 yards away. Saquon has been doing everything he's supposed to do, what an MVP is supposed to do to win these games and to make it to the Super Bowl. So I feel like Saquon should win it, but I mean, I even feel like literally Adrian Peterson's year that he won the MVP doesn't touch what Saquon did this year. So I'm just saying,
and he didn't play all the games, and he sat half of the quarters in some
he
games.
shot a lot of quarters because the Eagles were blowing teams out.
Was going for the record. Saquon wasn't. In my opinion,
Saquon was just balling.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. But let's move on. I have another question for y'all. Is a healthy, just like Aaron alluded to, which is funny, he kind of gave us a little precursor here. Is a healthy Chiefs team scary for the Eagles? Now, Aaron, I already know your answer is going to be no, but can you elaborate on that?
I just feel like our defense is really good, right? I think if this was the defense we had in the last Super Bowl, I would be really worried about this Chiefs offense. I'm not even gonna lie, I'll be really worried about this Chiefs offense. But I just feel like we have the personnel on defense to line up and match up with everybody they have on their offense. I will say this though. I will say this though. Fangio has to do what like basically and I don't even know if he can, but like literally the way Gannon played Kelsey, he played he basically put Malcolm Jenkins on Kelsey the like I'm not on Kelsey. I'm bugging. I'm sorry. I mean Kelsey Gronk when we won when we won. He literally had Malcolm Jenkins guarding Gronk the whole game. The way Zach Ertz ate up our defense last week, we can't let Travis Kelsey do that this week. So they have to figure it out. Whether they have to figure out what type of scheme they're gonna want to do because Fangio doesn't play a lot of man. He does a lot of like zone umbrella. The way he does it, but they got to figure it out because I feel like one of our best guys has to be guarding Kelsey because we can't just let Kelsey have a game like Zach Ertz did. I guess. I feel like we gave it to Zach Ertz because he was an Eagle, so we let him shine a little bit because literally nobody else shined on that Commanders team. But
Yeah, I miss Zach Ertz. I miss him.
but we gotta
But Dallas Goedert is a hell of a
we gotta do better. We gotta do better with that. But I feel like our defense matches up well with everybody that they have. Like DeAndre Hopkins is old. Like I'm not really worried about DeAndre Hopkins like that. He's old. I mean, yeah, he's still a baller, but I just he hasn't fit with Kansas City well this year. Like they got him late, and I just don't feel like he's like understanding their system yet. I think it's gonna take him
I
another
think he only
year
had one catch
to
in the
figure
last
it out.
game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's gonna take him another year. I mean, he's always gonna be a red zone threat because of the size he
Yes,
is as
right,
a wide receiver. He's always gonna be a red
right.
zone threat. But I think I think Fangio is going to play Patrick Mahomes very well. Like the shit that Patrick Mahomes has been getting away with is just so obvious that what he's going to do. I think Fangio game plans for that better than any defensive coach Mahomes has had to play so far in the playoffs.
Okay, Jace, what about you? Is a healthy Chiefs team scary for the Eagles going into the Super Bowl? You're on mute, buddy. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
my bad.
Go ahead.
But there's no way that somebody can say that a healthy Chiefs team is scary to the Eagles. The Eagles defense is immaculate. Have you seen what they've been doing? Like like we have damn everything going on in the game. Like multiple sacks per drive, and we have lockdown defense for that secondary to get interceptions. Like you could see it in the past 3 games before the Super Bowl. Like it's been crazy. Like the whole entire playoff, the Chiefs defense has been on top, and it's no questions asked.
Yeah, that's a good take. Multiple sacks per drive. That's an interesting statistic, and I'm sure it's factual because you wouldn't be saying it unless it was. Um, for me,
I,
yeah, go ahead, AG.
I will say this though. Uh, Spagnolia, I do think he's going to throw weird defenses that's going to like shake up Jalen Hurts a little bit. But Jalen Hurts threw for over 300 yards against him the last time, so I'm not too worried about that. And now there's also Saquon in the backfield to easing up the burden. So I mean, like I said, I'm really worried about the refs. I'm more worried about the refs than anything. But I'm on some. There's still one more game. We got to get it done.
Right.
Um,
I mean, here's what I think. If I had to say something about this, um, listen, is a healthy Chiefs team? I mean, does it pose a threat per se? Yes. Why do I say that? Because we know Andy Reid. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches of all time, ex-Eagle himself. We also know Spagnola, ex-Giants defensive coordinator. won 2 Super Bowls with him against Tom Brady. So he knows how to coach the defense. And then with Andy Reid getting his offensive weapons back, with the defense and with the Spagnuolo defense as well, it does pose a threat. Is it scary per se? I wouldn't say so, because with it all, when it's all said and done, if we're gonna not look at the records and we're gonna look at just at the teams and how they've produced all season, the Eagles have been the best team all year, and it's not even a question. They've been the best team all year, and it's going to, I feel like this is the year, and not being a biased Eagles fan either, because I've been that person to say, when I think the Eagles are going to lose, when I think the Eagles are struggling throughout the year. Aaron's the first to point that out. But I will say that, it does pose a threat, but is it scary going into the Super Bowl? I don't know. What I will say is the one thing that I do worry about is Jalen Hurts' throwing ability, and him actually, because we have to be honest, we have to be real. In that Washington Commanders game, it was a completely one-dimensional
Oh
game.
my
It was on the
God.
ground, ground and pound, ground and pound. If you're gonna lie, he
He
threw for
threw for over
barely,
200 yards.
barely. He did like
He
180,
threw for
not
what?
187.
No, he did not. He threw for 238 yards. What are you talking about? What are you talking about right now?
Let
Yo,
me
I'm
look.
gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this.
Go ahead,
I'm gonna
brother.
tell you this. One, I just want to go back to how you're a fraud Eagle fan, just real quick, because
I hate you.
when you became an Eagle fan, Andy Reid wasn't even the coach. That's how you
Yes, he
know you're a
was.
fraud Eagle
Yes, he
fan.
was. Yes, he
That's how
was.
you know you're a fraud
Yes,
Eagle
he
fan.
was. What are you talking about?
You actually came in the Chip Kelly era. That's when you came in.
What?
But
No, I didn't. You're a
second of all,
liar,
yes you did.
dog. You're a
Second of
liar.
all,
You're just lying now. You're just
going
lying
back to
now.
Google it. Going back to Jalen Hurts, right?
Michael Vick was there with Andy Reid.
Going back to Jalen Hurts, right? I just want to say this: Jalen Hurts is basically the Tim Duncan of the NFL. Jalen Hurts is the Tim Duncan of the NFL. What he does isn't
You compare these
flashy.
fucking NFL
Look,
players to NBA players. Yo,
listen,
go ahead, AG. Go
listen,
ahead.
listen.
Go
What
ahead.
what he does isn't flashy. It's not gonna catch people's eyes.
Yeah, he
But
threw
guess
for
what?
246. You're right. You're right.
He's
Go
gonna
ahead.
he's gonna win games. He's gonna step up and be that guy when you need him to be that guy. That's what Timmy was. Timmy was that guy. Timmy was that guy when he needed to be. Timmy didn't have to do it every night. He didn't have to. He didn't. He wasn't a flashy player. He wasn't dunking and none of that. It was simple. It was simple. Post up, hook, take him to the court.
Mr. Fundamental.
Mr. Fundamental, and that's what Jalen Hurts is. He's Mr. Fundamental. He knows how to manage a game, and he knows he literally whatever requires him to win the game. That's what he's going to do.
Jace,
Jalen
what do you
Hurts
think?
is the Tim Duncan of the NFL.
Heard that. Jace, what do you think?
I was not really able to listen from all the arguing. I didn't get a nice view, but you were saying something about Jalen Hurts and how they're like the Tim Duncan of the NFL.
I said that I would be worried about Jalen Hurts' throwing ability, and AG completely he's going against what I said, and he's saying that Jalen Hurts is Mr. Fundamental and he's one of the most fundamentally sound quarterbacks in the game. What is your take on that?
My take is like in the middle. It's literally in the middle of both of you guys. I think that Jalen Hurts does have the power to do both passing and rushing, but you have to understand that Jalen Hurts, ever since like we've known that he's a quarterback, ever since he started starting for the Eagles, he has been known for how he can run, but he also can pass too, as we saw in the 55-23 NFC Championship. We saw a lot of that in the NFC Championship, and you have to understand that there is something with his rushing, and there's something with his passing. They could both go wrong. They could both go right. One could go wrong, one could go right. You know?
I mean, apparently AG agrees with you a lot more than agrees with you than a lot more than he agrees with me. But that's nothing new. He's always going to go against my grain. So
No, but I'm just saying, like, Does Jalen Hurts frustrate me at times? Yes. Does Jalen Hurts miss things at times? Yes. But I think
I mean,
he's
even his number
literally
one wide receiver
he's
said,
he's
he's worried about the passing game. AJ Brown.
all right. AJ Brown was a diva that week, and then the next week
But
he got the
Smith said the
ball.
same
He
thing
got
in
the
the
ball
same
six
week.
times. No, all right. Listen. Like I
And that's the
said,
boy's jersey you're wearing right now.
like I said, we're not a pass first team anymore right now. We're not a pass first team with Saquon.
No, we're
Can
not.
Jalen
You're
Hurts
right.
pass? Yes, he can pass. Does Jalen Hurts miss some reads? Yes, he does miss some reads. He frustrates me all the time. I've seen him live multiple times where I'm just looking like, how did you miss him? He's open. But I think Jalen Hurts is so fundamental now. He's not trying to force things anymore. He's not trying to turn over the ball, which is why we're in the Super Bowl. No turnovers the whole playoffs. He's not he's playing smart. He's playing smart versus taking risks, which is why some of these QBs are not in the Super Bowl right now. Lamar had 3 turnovers. Jared Goff had 3 turnovers. Josh Allen played loose a lot of the time in the championship game, and everybody wants to say something about Jalen Hurts all the time. The week before the Chiefs game, Josh Allen threw for under 160 yards, and nobody said anything about Josh Allen
And
throwing.
and and let me say something. And let me say something about the Bills. And let me say something about the Bills offense and Josh Allen. We're not gonna we there's one person that we never mentioned, and that's James Cook. Hell of a season for that guy. Hell of a
Yeah,
season. Hell of a
yeah,
season for that guy.
yeah.
He had a breakout year.
He
He
was a
played well
top
with
five
Josh
rushing.
Allen. Top five rushing. What a hell of a season for that guy. We would be ignorant and irresponsible if we didn't mention that. So hell of a season for that kid. But let's move. Let's say this. That Eagles game, Eagles versus the Commanders, it was a slaughterhouse. It was an absolute slaughterhouse. It was Eagles from the jump, and they didn't let up. They put the foot on the gas, and they never let go. But that being said, Jaden Daniels, rookie of the year, in my opinion, I think so. What does the future hold for Daniels and the Commanders? What can we say? Jace, I want you to lead off with that one. What can we say the future holds for Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders?
Personally, me, I think Jaden Daniels will be a Commanders player until the day he retires, because just seeing off this first year, he had a breakout year,
That's
first
a hot take.
season,
That's a hot
rookie of
take.
the year. Like, I just feel like the Commanders know what they're doing, and I feel like the Commanders are going to build off of him. I feel like they're going to get a Super Bowl in the next 3 years or so.
Oh, interesting.
That's
Interesting. Hey, that's a nice take. The staying with the Commanders is a hot take, but I like that. I like that. How about you, AG? What do you think?
Um, alright, hey, being a hater aside, because I'm never gonna root for someone that's in my division. I just never will. I just never
Wait, hold
will.
on. AG is
Because
not going to be a hater right now. Hold on. Hold on a second.
I,
What's going on here?
see, you dig in now. But
Nah, man, because you be doing
like I
it to
was
me.
saying,
But go ahead.
like I was saying, you'll never hear me root for a player in my division. That would never happen because they're in my division, so they're a rival. With that being said, Jaden Daniels will be a problem. He will be a problem going forward. Let's see what the Commanders do. Like I said, I thought the Commanders would have been better if they didn't tank last year and get rid of all of their defensive players. If they had that defensive line that they had last year, they would have been a little bit better. They traded for Lattimore, who's a fucking burger. So they definitely need to upgrade their defense, but they need to get Jaden another weapon. But Jaden's a real deal. I'm not gonna lie. It sucks to gonna have to play him 2 times a year and possibly 3 times like we did this year. But I'm not worried, at least for the next 3 years, because the Eagles is gonna mostly have the same team, roughly the same team,
And
both
they're
on
fairly
offense
young
and
as well.
defense.
Eagles are fairly young as well.
Offense and defense should have about the same team for the next 3 years. So I'm not too worried about the next 3 years. But Jaden will be a problem. Let's see who he gets. There's already rumor speculation that Tyreek Hill might go to Washington. That's already a rumor speculation. Um, that would upset me highly if Tyreek Hill was in my division. But I think I
That
think
would
the
be a good.
people
That would
that
be a good fit right there. Holy
I
shit.
think the people that are beating themselves over the head even more are Giants fans because they won two meaningless games last year. They could have had Jaden. They could have had Jaden. They won two meaningless games last year that bumped them out of getting Jaden. And now they have to deal with now they literally have to deal with the Eagles and the Commanders every year.
Yep.
Every year. The Giants
Yep.
potentially could be in the bottom of their division for the next 5 years.
I
Potentially.
mean, let's talk about the. Okay, let me answer the
I
question
mean,
first.
Dallas sucks too, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that. Well, we don't have to talk about Dallas today. We'll talk about that on another show. But let me talk about let me answer the question first and foremost. The future for Daniels and the Commanders. Do I believe Jaden Daniels has a bright future? Absolutely, 1,000%. I think he has potential to be an elite quarterback in this league. I believe him and Bo Nix, have the potential, barring injury, which is something that Aaron likes to allude to. Because Jaden, I will say this: Aaron did say, AG did say, Jaden Daniels needs to learn how to slide. He needs to learn how to take a tackle. He needs to protect his body. And what happens? He breaks his ribs mid-season. These things are very important when you're going to be a quarterback in this league, and a mobile quarterback at that. That being said, I do believe, genuinely speaking, that Jaden Daniels has potential to be one of the elite quarterbacks in the league, along with Bo Nix and all the other young quarterbacks, the Jalen Hurts of the league, and all these other young quarterbacks that are in the league. Will it be with the Commanders? Who knows? Who knows? If Tyreek Hill, if they do what Jason AG says, and they build around this young man, and they get somebody like a Tyreek Hill or another weapon in the backfield, or weapons on defense to complement Jaden Daniels and his ability, Jaden Daniels could be, as Jay said, a Commander for life. And no quarterback in recent past has been a Commander for life, drafted or not drafted. And that's just me being real. Kirk Cousins was the most recent one that I could think of, but besides, other than that, it's been a fucking revolving door of quarterbacks for the Commanders. Jace, what do you have to say? What do you think?
Number one, you took off the Giants topic because you knew I was gonna get very mad at AZ for saying that.
Oh, we could get back to it. I could do it. We could do it. You want to say something about your Giants? I mean, we could do it. I mean, we talk trash about the Giants all year on this show. We could do it if you want to. We have no problem with that.
First, the
Giants are a terrible franchise, but go ahead.
The Giants won too many meaningless games last year. They tried to trade up because they didn't think that the Commanders were going to take Jaden. They weren't expecting them to take Jaden. I feel like that was just their take on that. And that's the reason that they
because their GM is a dummy, but go ahead.
Yeah, but that's why they drafted up to third. I'm sure last year, I don't know if it was the year before. They drafted up to third, and they could have took a quarterback in that situation. I don't know why they didn't. But, they could have done that in that situation. And then, you could see the Giants before the season tried to do as best as they could. They got Brian Burns somehow. They could have got him at top value a few years ago, but they just gave him to the Giants for, a second and fifth pick, from what I remember. But, you got to understand that the Giants are trying to build their franchise. It's just that, they are not doing it the correct way. They're supposed to go forward, but they're going backwards.
I agree.
Yeah, because they gave their money to Daniel Jones and not Saquon.
Exactly.
And then just release Daniel Jones anyway.
Right.
Why are you paying a quarterback who had one rookie season, $160 million? No exact sense.
We should have started the show off with the clip from Hard Knocks saying if Saquon goes to Philly. That's what
we could have done that. We could have done that.
That's what we should have did, because now Saquon's in the Super Bowl and Giant fans and Giant players are in the suite watching Saquon, rooting for Saquon. You
You
know,
know what I was gonna look for? I was gonna look for that. I was gonna look for that Saquon jump over the guy clip, but I can't find it right now. I don't think I got it on the app
and go on and on.
somewhere. but hey, so that's a good take. That's a good take. And let's talk. Let me talk about the Giants for a second. Let me talk about the Giants because when they were playing the
Terrible.
Patriots, and listen, when they played the Patriots in those 2 Super Bowls, you best believe I was rooting for those Giants. I hated Tom Brady. I hated the Patriots.
I didn't root for
You know,
nobody.
I hated just like I hated Kobe and I hated the Lakers back in the day because they were so damn good. They were
We
so
ain't gonna
damn good.
disrespect Kobe on this show.
Listen. I respect Kobe. Now I do. Now that he's retired from the league, not because he's passed, but after he's retired from the league, I respected Kobe and his craft and his winning. Just like now, after Tom Brady has retired from the league, I have no choice but to respect greatness. Greatness is greatness, which is something I hope you do with LeBron. But we'll save that for another episode. That being said, when it comes to the Giants,
You had to bring up.
like I spoke to Jace about this, I believe 2 days ago. The Giants have not been relevant since the Tom Coughlin era. They have not been relevant since Tom Coughlin decided to pretty much retire from coaching and went to be in the offices of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have been a franchise that has been going downward, and they haven't even shown potential of possibly getting over the hump. What did they went to one playoff game? They lost that. Did they win that playoff game? They won one playoff game, and they thought they did something. Are you fucking kidding me? Excuse my language, Jason. I'm sorry, but are you kidding me? What do you guys say, Jace?
Exactly.
Well,
They go and pay Daniel $160 million for winning a playoff game. Let's clap your hands for Daniel. He won a playoff game. Let's go hand him a ton of money and just release our best player for the past few years.
well,
Yeah, but then we have to talk about the offensive line. The offensive line didn't protect Saquon.
I told you what New York is going to do. I told you a few episodes ago of what New York is gonna do. I told you.
No. I gotta get away.
They're gonna take Travis Hunter this year most likely, and then next year they're gonna get Manning. They waiting for that other Manning to try to save the franchise again. They're gonna go get Manning. That's what they're gonna do.
This year the Giants are getting Shador. He's not going for a
They're
six. He's
not
definitely
they're
going
not drafting Shador. I promise you they're not drafting Shador. I promise you they're not drafting Shador.
Going to draft
Alright,
Shador.
alright,
I'll put all my
alright.
money that is drafting Shador.
You don't hold your money. I'm telling you right now, y'all not drafting Shador. Y'all gonna wait. Y'all gonna take like Kirk Cousins or Justice Fields this year, and then y'all gonna draft Manning next year. That's what y'all gonna do. That's what y'all gonna do. Giants don't draft black QBs.
That's what I told
It
him
doesn't
too. He
happen.
doesn't believe me. Yeah,
It doesn't happen.
he doesn't believe me. I
Giants
said the
don't
same thing
draft
to him.
black QBs. It
It could be
doesn't
a once in
happen.
a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, well, they acting like Trump runs their team because they're not drafting a black QB. I'm telling you. You know that right now. They're not drafting a black QB. It's all smoke. They're gonna get Manning next year. They're waiting for Manning. They're waiting for Manning. I'm letting you know that right now.
Enough Giants football talk. Let's move on.
They're waiting for Jeremiah Smith. That's what they're waiting for. That's what they're waiting for.
Can this Eagles team beat the Chiefs and the refs? Can it happen, Jace? Go.
1 million. 1 million %. 100 million%. The Eagles are going to finally beat the refs. They're going to be the first team in the playoff history to beat the Chiefs and the refs. Because the only fluke happened was when the Bengals beat the Chiefs back in 2021 or 2022. I'm not sure. But I'm 1000% waiting for the Eagles to go spank the Chiefs and no three-peat for Patrick Mahomes. He is not getting it, and he is never going to get it. Nothing's going to happen like that in NFL history, I'm telling you. Or
AG,
if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen for a while.
Okay. AG, go ahead.
I don't want to jinx my team. So I just, I'm just gonna watch the game. But I will say this, right? Because I also like I think I was talking to you about it. I wonder, right, if the NFL holds like Tom Brady in the same light that like the NBA holds Jordan. Like I feel like they went out their way to make sure Kobe didn't get 6 rings. Like will they go out their way to make sure Mahomes doesn't beat a Brady record? Like the do something that Brady
That's
did. Like
interesting.
so like
That's
I
interesting.
I I wonder, right? I wonder. And if Mahomes does lose, do then the world be like, oh, the NFL was rigged. They didn't want him to break a Brady record. Da da da. Like I don't know, but I will say I I haven't been more confident about an Eagles team in my whole entire life than I am right now.
Yeah. And okay, so if I had to, we're gonna tell in the first quarter. We're gonna be able to tell in the first quarter what kind of game this is gonna be in regards to the refs and how they're gonna call it. I've been seeing memes and I've been seeing different like things on the internet stating how the Eagles had the refs on their side in that Commanders game because of the calls that the refs made in regards to the guy jumping the line for the tush push and all this. And and of course we've been hearing about the refs and the Chiefs all year. I believe in the Super Bowl, let's not and Aaron does make a valid point. They did prevent people from breaking Jordan's record for the simple fact that they want Jordan to still be the best player to ever play the sport. And will they do the same thing with Brady? It's a good question. It's a very good question because Mahomes, without a shadow of a doubt, is on track to demolish Brady's record, especially if he wins this Super Bowl. And as we all well know, nobody has ever won 3 straight Super Bowls. So
And I will say this though, right? Also, um, and like when it comes to like Jordan and Brady, they were the most watched. They were the most viewed. Like whether you hated them or loved them, they were the most watched and the most viewed. Mahomes is not the most watched. Mahomes isn't the most watched. He's not the most watched. He's not the most viewed. He doesn't sell the most jerseys. As many times as he's in the Super Bowl, he's not it. To be honest, the Eagles are the number one watched
I
team
mean,
in the
yeah,
NFL.
and let me say something about that. And Jason, I'm gonna let you talk after this, but let me say something about that. People hate the Chiefs. People hate the Chiefs. Why do people hate the Chiefs? For a multitude of reasons. Mahomes is not a likable person. Brady, yeah, he has a face that you could
It,
punch. Brady did have a face that you could punch, but Mahomes, like, he's not a likable person. People do not like this man. And then on top of that, the Taylor Swift surrounding the team, it makes people not want to like the team. It's like, yo, like this it's a Taylor Swift show, blase, blase. And maybe that is a part of the ratings. What do you think, Jace?
Personally, the only part of the Super Bowl that I'm excited with because the Chiefs are in it is the halftime show. I'm completely serious with you. I have my division rival and a team I hate in the Super Bowl. The only thing I'm going to be happy about is the halftime show. That's honestly what I want.
AG, you go. AG, I don't want to say anything. That's my son. I love him.
first off,
AG,
fuck
go.
that halftime
I love
show
I love my
because
son. I love my son.
because the Super Bowl is in New Orleans and they don't got Wheezy performing
He
at the
doesn't know nothing
halftime.
about that because he's too
So
young.
so fuck the halftime show, and I guarantee the halftime show's numbers are completely down from the past 2 years. I promise you that. I
I'm
promise
telling
you
you,
that.
ever since Kendrick Lamar was announced to be in the halftime show, his career has skyrocketed. And then he's having SZA as his Super Bowl guest for the halftime show, which they're touring in spring, I think. Like they're gonna have a spectacular halftime show, and that's number one. And the Super Bowl, the Super
This
I
is
Bowl,
like
the team
interesting
that
though.
SZA. I
But this
I
is
the team
watch
that
it
I
interesting.
for
want.
SZA.
There's one team that I want to win. The team that I want to win is the Eagles. My dad is an Eagles fan. AG is an Eagles fan. Even though they're my division rivals, I hate the Chiefs to the core of my heart. I hope they never win again.
That's
I hope they
crazy.
I hope they go 3-14 next year.
That's crazy.
I,
Hey,
I,
listen. So
I,
let
I
me
just I
go ahead,
just think
AG.
a lot of people are hating the Chiefs now because for the same reason why people hated Brady and the Patriots. Like It's not because they're winning. It's because of how they're winning. It's because of how they're winning. They Brady had a whole bunch of such shit his whole career. The deflating of the footballs, the refs helping him. Brady had a lot of such shit in his career,
He
and
did.
now Mahomes
He
has a
did.
lot of such shit. To be honest, I never really hated Mahomes. Like I hated the refs for the way they gave him the calls, but I started hating Mahomes for the LeBron flop he did a couple of weeks ago in that Texans game where he tried to flop on the sideline and get a call. That's when I started hating Mahomes. I didn't hate Mahomes before that. Before that, I didn't hate Mahomes. I hate the Chiefs because the rest was always giving them the
Well,
call.
Mahomes,
Now I
but
hate Mahomes.
the reason why Mahomes is a sore loser, though. He's also a sore loser. That's why I hate Mahomes. I'm gonna bring it back to that one time that he played the Buffalo Bills and he was bitching at Josh Allen. He went for the handshake. He's bitching, oh, that was a terrible holding or offsides call, whatever he said, and he was just being a little bitch about it. And like to be a sore loser in this league when you've won so much, like shut the fuck up and just hold that L. Just hold that L. You've won how many 3 Super Bowls already? Just shut up. Just shut up. I can't stand people like that. Know how to lose and know how to win. You're so quick to yeah when you win a game, but when you lose, you want to cry like a little bitch. No, no. That's why I don't like Mahomes. The reason why I don't like the Chiefs is because of what I alluded to. Mahomes is a little prick. Taylor Swift, the whole surrounding the Taylor Swift of the Chiefs and all that crap. It's taking away from the actual success of the Chiefs. And then that's really it. I don't really dislike Travis Kelce. I actually like Travis Kelce, to be 100% honest with you. Andy Reid, ex-Eagle, love Andy Reid, hell of a coach, Hall of Famer, no doubt. It's really just that. But with that being said, I'm gonna jump back, and I wanna jump back to what Jay said about the halftime show. Now, it was an interesting point that he made that he's excited about Kendrick Lamar headlining the show. He also alluded to SZA, and how she's going to be a guest at the halftime show as well. But us as the old heads, when we were growing up, and AG, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, when we were growing up, when we watched the halftime show, it was always the old school, the old heads. It was always the old heads that were headlining the halftime show. The generation before us that was headlining the halftime show. And now it's not even that right
I
now.
mean,
Like they
I mean, we had a lot of bad halftime shows though. I'm not
we
gonna lie.
did.
We had a
And
lot
that,
of boring
some of that is
halftime shows.
because, and I want to say thank you to Jace for coming on. I'm assuming he had to go because, he had things to do. So I want to say thank you to my son. I love you, kid. I appreciate you and all the things that you brought to this show. You're an extremely intelligent young man, and you
Yeah,
have
he knew
sports
more than
knowledge.
you.
I love you, Jace. Anyway, so like I was saying, uh, when it comes to the halftime show, I think that the halftime show got ruined with the whole Janet Jackson situation with Justin Timberlake. I think that was the reason why they went towards that route with the halftime show because if you remember, Justin Timberlake
Yeah, after
and
that they played it safe. There was a lot of country and
right
there was a lot of whack
Coldplay,
performances. I
U2,
do feel like they brought it back in the past 5 years. They brought it back. I just think this was a terrible choice. I don't like the fact that Jay-Z has a lot of control over who performs at the halftime and
we could talk about that.
and this is why Kendrick is there and not Wheezy because Wheezy should be there. I mean, out of respect, he should have at least been the feature. Out of respect, it's in New
I mean, yeah, why
Orleans.
not? I mean, and then it's like Wheezy. I mean, I just don't understand that. I thought that Jay Z and Wheezy put that beef behind them, but it feels like that this just reignited that beef. Like, yo, this is his hometown. Like, I mean, and then people are talking about how he's not a great performer and how when he performs, he mumbles a lot and he's always so high. Listen, if it's the halftime show when he knows the entire world is watching, you better believe he's gonna bring it. He's gonna bring
And
it.
not only
I've
that,
seen great Wheezy
just look at
performances.
who he probably would have brought. He probably would have brought Drake. He probably would have brought Nicki. That would have had the ratings
And that
crazy for the
and that
halftime.
and that could have helped Drake reignite his career. It would have brought back old nostalgic moments for us when we were growing up with Young Money and everything that we witnessed that as children and well not as children but more high schoolers and stuff like that. Even as children, Carter 2 and stuff like that. I was a child. Yeah. So yeah, it's just yeah, it would have been a nice halftime show to see Lil Wayne there. But obviously Kendrick Lamar is going to be headlining it. He had one bop
I'm
over
I'm
the whole
I'm
summer.
I'm I'm listening. I'm listening to Wayne during the whole halftime. I don't give a
You
fuck. I'm listening
stupid.
to Wayne the whole halftime.
You gonna put
I'm
that shit on
throwing
mute?
on. I'm putting that shit on mute, and I'm bumping all Wheezy during the halftime. Soon as the halftime start, you gonna hear the lighter flick. As soon as the halftime starts, fuck all that.
You
I'm listening to
stupid.
Wheezy.
So let me ask you something.
Listen to
We talked
Wheezy.
about, listen, let me ask you something. So we talked about, how the Chiefs, how the refs and the Chiefs could influence this Super Bowl and how it turns out. Now let me ask you a question, and this is something that I thought about earlier because I read on ESPN today that, hold on, maybe I could pull it up on my phone. I don't know if I deleted the notification. I probably did. But there was something on ESPN today where it did say that, there was something happened with Terry Rozier and the sports betting and how his play has been, a little shaky and how the things that he's been doing has been shaking in accordance to, the lines and the spreads or whatever the case may be. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think sports betting has ruined sports?
Of course, this is. I don't know if you noticed, but this is the first year in NFL history where the kickers are missing kicks all
Yeah, I
year.
noticed. Of
Like
course
you,
I noticed.
like you think that's a coincidence when sports is finally like fully legal that these kickers are just missing kicks. Like it's because of the spreads and shit. Like the fuck, like this it's kind of blatant. Yo, I don't know if you were watching the Texans and the Chiefs game, but at one point at the end of the game they changed the score. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Hold
That was
on.
like the Texans had 12 the whole time. They
Hold on,
literally
AG.
changed the score.
Jace wanted to jump back in and say goodbye real quick. Jace wanted to jump back in and say goodbye. Hold on, Jace. Go ahead. Say your goodbyes, big dog.
Um, Thanks for having me. Not like I used to like sports with my dad. Like we used to play little bets in, but um, I don't really like to talk about betting anymore because like I'm just not. I don't really do it anymore. But um, I like being able to talk about my on how like the teams and all that. I like being able to talk about the Chiefs and all the teams. But as you can see, if you're watching right here, it should say around right here. My Instagram user. If you wouldn't mind, give me a follow and thank you for having me, Dad. I need you.
Absolutely, son, and that was good having you. I love you, man. Yo, get some rest because you got school in the morning, and I will be
Mm,
calling you in about 10 minutes when I'm done with my stream. So, answer
okay,
your phone, okay? I love you, kid.
I love you too.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, go ahead, AG. We were talking about has sports betting ruined sports. You're talking about how the kickers have been missing kicks. They're trying to make the spread. Allude to that. You continue to allude to your point.
Yeah, I just, like I said, kickers are missing kicks. There was even some funny shit going on when the Texans was playing the Chiefs. Like they changed the score like 3 times at the end of the game. Like I thought I was bugging. I was like, "Yo, I'm not even drunk or nothing." Like, and we all was watching the game. He was like, "Yo, what the fuck just happened? Did they just change? They just shaved the point just now." Like, it was crazy. And even like it's just I don't know, man. It's like, and then it's like almost if you realize, if you really look at like the way the betting is, right? Almost all the sure things, like when all the money is on a player that it's like supposed to be a sure thing, that's the one night that the player just doesn't hit. Like he just doesn't hit.
Bro, CD Lamb. Yo, there was one week where I had CD Lamb for 40 yards, and that was the only leg that I missed on my 10 legger. That would have won me like 700 or $5. And it was like, I forgot. I think they were playing the Giants, if I'm not mistaken, and he had 39 fucking yards. And he decided he was going to sit out the rest of the fucking game. And it was
It
like
was
they still had like a quarter and a half left to go in the game. There was no reason for him to sit. Like
it was
it's like
even
it's
like
in our face, just like you
the
said.
Saquon drop of the TD. Like I feel like everyone had
Right,
Saquon for that week. Like everyone
right,
had Saquon for that week. After
right.
the first week he had, everyone had Saquon. Like you get what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like that. And basketball is kind of
It's
even
worse.
worse. Like,
That's worse.
yeah, basketball
It's
is even
worse.
worse.
It's more in
But
our face
that's
with
what.
it too.
But
It's
that's
like
what.
in our face with it.
But that's why if you want to bet and you want to bet safe, don't bet on the bigger name players because you gotta take your chances on the smaller players that they not gonna try to put the fix in for that. That's what you
I'm not
gotta
gonna
that's
lie
what
to
you
you.
gotta that's what you
I'm
gotta
not
bet
gonna lie to
on.
you. I'm done
But
with
I
sports
left
betting.
betting in I left betting in 2024.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
leaving that
not
shit.
I'm
I'm leaving that shit like yesterday, whatever the last time I bet. Because because listen, I say
Nah,
that to
I
say
left
this.
that shit in 2024.
I say that to say this, man. The world is a stage and everything's a show. Not only sports, politics, and the pop culture, everything. It's just a stage. Everything I feel like I don't want to say it's rigged, but everything is manipulated, and it's so sad that we live in this world, and a lot of people aren't. I wouldn't want to say woke because I don't consider us to be woke. I consider us to be awake and to be knowledgeable about what's going on in our society. I can get into my theories, into my hypotheticals, into what I think, and philosophically, but this is not the time to do so. That said, is it ruining sports? Absolutely. I feel like sports was not more predictable, but sports was definitely you could definitely predict more back in the day before sports betting became legal than you can now. And not only that, it was more real. Like it's not fake anymore. It was fun to watch, and it's just not the same anymore. It's just not the same anymore. It makes me sad as a sports fanatic growing up that I had to say this on our sports podcast. Just to be real. So, AG, you wanted to talk about some award races before we head out?
It's up to you because we did an hour 10. I mean, the
Yeah, we could
awards
we could
is
call it right
next
now. We
week.
have next
Yeah,
week.
the
Yeah,
yeah
of course.
the awards actually happens next week, so we can do
And I got to get
awards
back on my
next week.
computer anyway because this is
Yeah,
this ain't it. This ain't it. I don't like
yeah,
doing
we
this.
could we could do awards next week. We could do awards. We could talk one more time Super Bowl, and then we could also talk NBA trade deadline because there'll probably be some NBA trades by the next time of our episode. So and then we could break down a little bit of what to expect in the changes for All Star Weekend for
Yeah,
basketball.
I'd love
Um,
to talk about
so
that. Can't wait.
yeah, we could do that next week.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I wanna, obviously, I wanna thank y'all for stopping by. I wanna thank to everybody that stopped by. Vic, I saw only two people in the chat today. We had a very small chat today. Me and AG are back. I'm back full time. I did have to deal with my health issues for a little bit, but me and AG discussed it, the logistics of everything, and now I'm back and I'm ready to jump on. And we're gonna get our Instagram back up and popping. We're gonna get our YouTube back up and popping. Um, our Facebook is always up and popping, and we're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna keep grinding moving forward. AG and I have a few ideas for the show in the future that we're gonna share with you folks in the upcoming weeks. But as for right now, we want to thank everybody that has joined to view it for as long as you have, for as little as you have. We appreciate everything that we can. I will start cutting up clips of the show and posting them on social media so that we can get more recognition and more attention, definitely, because obviously the content is there. We know what we're talking about. We have my son. He's 12 years old, and he's bringing a new vision that me and AG as older gentlemen don't have. And it's good when you have these guests like A Marie. We have Jace that come on. We're gonna get people like Vic to come to the show one of these days, I'm sure. And AG has a few people as well that I'm sure he wants to bring. So the show, there's nowhere to go but up. And I know that we're gonna reach our pinnacles as long as we keep on grinding. But AG, what you gotta say?
I go on and on. Yo, E A
Hey,
G L E S Eagles. Yo, let me know where y'all watching the Super Bowl. We gonna get back to y'all next week. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl. I'm not sure yet. If I'm gonna watch it in the crib, if I'm gonna fly down to Florida. They got a poppin' ass Eagles bar in Orlando. That's
hey, if
fucking
you coming down to
fire.
Florida,
I
and
might I
I
might
don't
go I
drink,
might go to that.
but
Nah, but that bar
but
in
I
Orlando is
can
like it's
use,
like being in the
yeah,
stadium. It's
right.
like
I
being
can
in
do
the
that.
stadium, man. It's
Yeah.
like being in the stadium out there. I'm about to look at the flights right now. But yeah, man, we're gonna see y'all next week. Y'all already know this is who knows best. We do. We out of
We
here, y'all.
do. What could you talk about? We're gonna holla at y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming.